We have heard the rising statistics surrounding autism, the number now nationally up to 1 in every 68 kids. That's up 30% from just 3 years ago. Interestingly enough, the numbers vary by state, and it's also 5 times more likely to occur in boys. But it's more than just the numbers. How is this disorder impacting the lives that it touches?
And do people who aren't living on the spectrum know enough about it? Well, one 24-year-old young man who is living with autism says no. So he wrote a book that he hopes can help people to better understand. Taft Price still remembers how it felt when her son Aaron was diagnosed with autism.
Sometimes there's a grieving that goes on when you first hear the diagnosis because of all the things that will never be. And then you turn it around, what can be.
But Aaron soon proved what could be wouldn't be stopped by his disorder. Instead, autism would help him help others.
One day he said, "Mom, I wish there was a book out there to really help people."
What if I could make a book that could help other people cope with life lessons?
So Aaron wrote a book, Sound Bites, Lessons from a Boy Who Has Autism. In it, he tells his experience and advice for coping with the disorder.
The title is Hope. There are more good times and good moments for us than there are difficult times and heavy moments.
Aaron travels with his mother and lectures on his book and deep breathing techniques. Price says the response has been great.
As we started getting emails and letters from all over around the world.
But what Aaron and his mother want this book to teach is that everyone has a gift that they can share.
I think a lot of people are special, skilled, and gifted and unique with autism.
And if you would like to read more of Aaron's reflections or purchase the book, you can go to our website, wboc.com, and click on our picture at the top of the page. And April is actually National Autism Awareness Month.
What a great guy. Now, one group here on Delmarva is hoping to raise awareness about autism as well as money to support families and individuals with autism. Joining us this afternoon to tell us more is David Woods, who is the Development Director with Autism Delaware. David, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's talk about these numbers. So nationally, it's 1 kid out of every 68.
Yeah.
So what's it like, say, in Maryland?
Well, in Maryland, the numbers are a little bit higher. Recent CDC study suggested 1 in 60 Maryland children are being diagnosed with autism. That's 1 in 37 boys and 1 in 179 girls.
Okay, but in girls, it's a little different?
The girls tend to have more severe cases of autism.
Not as enough, but more severe.
Yes.
How about Delaware, the numbers in Delaware?
Numbers in Delaware are about the same as the national average. A recent study of the Delaware school students suggested that the increase in school students is on the rise to about 800% more in the last 23 years, students in the school system.
Now, there's a thing that comes into all this called educational classification. Explain that to me.
That's right. So in 1991, there were 152 students in the Delaware public school system that had the educational classification of autism.
Okay.
And in 2014, there were 1,512.
Wow.
So, but the educational classification is when a student in the school system, a public school system, if they need additional supports, then they have what's called the educational classification of autism.
Okay, so autism for a lot of people is kind of hard to understand if you don't live with someone with autism or know someone. What's the best way to describe someone who's autistic?
So autism spectrum disorder is defined as a developmental disorder that impairs an individual's ability to communicate socially or sometimes verbally, and sometimes it also has an intellectual impairment as well.
Mm-hmm. And this limits your function?
It limits your function and can also develop repetitive patterns of behavior that can limit your everyday function.
So it's important to realize what it is early.
Well, early intervention is important because it not only helps families to sort of figure out what they're dealing with, to get special supports for the family, but it also helps children to get the supports they need.
Now, you mentioned 3 no's.
Yeah, I like to say there are 3 no's of autism.
Okay.
There's no known cause, there's no known cure, and there's no known medical test.
Okay.
Wow.
So how is Autism Delaware helping in the community?
Autism Delaware started as a group of families that had a common need and has grown into a statewide organization that serves thousands of families throughout the state of Delaware. We help families with clinical diagnoses at the very beginning. We help families with parent mentoring. We run social and recreational activities, sensory-friendly events for individuals. And then as kids mature and grow out of the school-based systems, we have a vocational program that matches individuals with autism to jobs that are in the community and that work well with their skill set.
Wow. Now, you've got a personal connection with autism.
I do. I worked in the ministry for about 12 years and found myself around families that had children with autism, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help them, and that was debilitating for me as much as it was for them. But now, having been with Autism Delaware for a while, now I know where and how I can help families.
How can we help?
Great question. The first way you can help, and anybody can help, is by participating in one of our walks. We have the Walk for Autism that takes place this Saturday at Cape Henlopen State Park, and next Saturday up in Wilmington at Fox Run State Park. And so this is a great day to come out and support your friends and your families with autism for one day of rallying the community around autism. And if you want to support beyond one day, the best way to help is to give a donation to organizations like ours, Autism Delaware, so we can help support families 365 days a year.
Who's this guy?
Jacob Pantano, he's the Grand Marshal for our walk here in Cape Henlopen.
Oh,
So he's 5 years old, he's a young child with autism, and he likes to do what a lot of 5-year-olds do, play with cars and trucks, and he'll be leading the walk this Saturday, rain or shine.
Okay, that's awesome
time.
right there.
All right, and once again, the walks, there are 2 of them. If you would like to learn more about them, we have the information right here. Saturday, April 18th at Cape Henlopen State Park in Lewis. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. is registration. The walk begins at 11 a.m. And then the second walk is Saturday, April 25th, Fox Point State Park in Wilmington, 9 to 11 a.m. registration. That walk begins at 11 a.m.
David, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For clarifying a
Thank you
whole
very
bunch
much.
of things right there.
And if you would like to learn more about Autism Delaware, just visit our website, wboc.com. Click on our picture at the top of the page.
You know, a lot of us need to be more aware of our health. So up next, we're going to learn about how making a diet shift could not only help ward off disease, but maybe even reverse it, and how cutting out 2 major food groups may even help significantly improve your health and well-being.
Well, Joan London had a very public battle with her health when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. After the break, learn how her life has changed since the diagnosis and how she's now working to inspire others. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.